Good morning, Oscar winners and nominees of the future. It's been a long 4 years of learning, and today that comes to a halt. Believe it or not, you now have a responsibility to go out there and change the world through your documentaries. Give a voice to the voiceless and risk everything to find the truth in a story. A shining example of this is Cartel, an observational documentary created by Matthew Heineman. Cartel tells the true story of the Mexican drug cartels and vigilantes fighting against them. Heineman risked his life to find the truth in this story, going into meth houses, meeting the kingpin cartel leaders, and the corrupt vigilante leaders, highlighting that although something may appear peaceful and right, there is always a dark underbelly hiding out of plain sight. Heineman's use of documentary film techniques such as cinematography, direction, editing, narration, music, and interviews serve as a great reinforcer to the film's impact. However, his eye for cinematography shines the brightest. Take this shot for example. At first it may seem like your standard eye-level medium take. However, what you might miss is that the exact setup is used for all the main subjects throughout the film, mainly cartel and vigilante leaders. This subconsciously puts both groups on the same level, reinforcing the overall message that the cartels and vigilantes are just as bad as each other. The direction of Cartel is almost perfect, but is most powerful in the story aspect. Heineman doesn't take the easy route and tell the film through a subjective point of view, but splits the film into three: the cartels and the Mexican and American vigilante groups. A seemingly deliberate choice that serves as a perfect example to the confusion of the Mexican drug war. Another great aspect of Cartel is its flawless editing. This is most obvious in high-tense scenes where he leaves the camera to linger. In this particular scene, the use of longer takes is effective in building suspense, allowing audience members to analyze the atmosphere and gain a better understanding of place. This is very important in a film like Cartel, where the country of Mexico becomes a character in itself. Narration is a common documentary technique, used to either explain points that haven't been brought up in interviews or as a simple transition method between scenes. In Cartel, Heineman hasn't used any at all, instead, excerpts from interviews. This not only informs Cartel's observational documentary style, but effectively executes the subjective barriers associated with an average voiceover, bringing full focus to the real victims of the war, the Mexican people. The use of musical score in Cartel is another factor that positively reinforces a film, mainly influencing the fast or slow pacing a particular scene may offer. Take this drug bust for example. Score creates a sense of urgency and fearfulness through a violently fast pace that melts into the didactic sound of yelling and footsteps. Without the score, the scene loses this X factor, and the suspense the score provided. The final but most used technique of Cartel is interviews. The use of an interview in a documentary puts a human face behind a particular point of view. In Cartel this consisted of victims, vigilantes, and members of the Mexican drug cartel, all of which were very powerful. The most effective, however, comes from a victim. Although the interviewee doesn't have a large part in the runtime of the film, her words truly encapsulate the terror of the Mexican drug war. Cartel is a powerful example of what the documentary genre can produce, heavily reinforced by its great cinematography, direction, and score, to name a few. Cartel should serve as a shining example of the fearfulness and stop-at-nothing attitude each and every one of you should possess when creating your documentaries, because you never know, one of them could change the world.